I'm here with Cody today in the indoor arena. This is Lynn Clifford of wholehorse-wholerider.net or lynclifford.com, depending on which services you're interested in. And Cody's here with me today demonstrating some really subtle but amazing cues around like true relaxation versus kind of faux relaxation. And we've been standing in here for a while. She was feral for the first couple years of her life, and then had some probably pretty positive experiences in being with people and in their world. But she's always been a little bit nervous about being in an indoor arena. Actually, a lot nervous in the beginning, and then less and less nervous as time went on. But there are some subtle cues here. We just had a huge release a few moments ago, so I'm kind of filming round two. I'm able to see her ears are starting to move a little bit, which is actually a really good sign. But the ears can tell you where the horse's focus is, and I love that they're starting to have more mobility because they were actually really frozen earlier. Everything about her was kind of frozen. So she looked calm, but she was actually in a freeze state in the nervous system on a certain level. Sympathetic nervous system kind of closing down a little bit. So the ears are starting to move around a little bit, which tells us she's starting to become more aware of the sounds and actually just have the freedom and relaxation to be able to be more mobile and take things in her environment. Her eyes blinking are an amazing sign of her processing information. You think about it for yourself for a moment. If your eyes are just staring off into space, you're usually kind of zoned out or you're in a freeze state yourself. But the eyes blinking is a really beautiful beginning. Yeah, so ears and eyes. Her moving her head around to look around her environment is also a really great sign, telling us she's becoming a little bit more part of the environment rather than just in that freeze space, trying not to be noticed. And then the nostrils, she's had a couple fluttery breaths before I started filming after there being no movement whatsoever. So now her nostrils are fairly still again. Her mouth is fairly still as well, but that you might have seen that lower lip just twitch. But the lower lip, yep, it has some communication going on. It is hanging more relaxed than it was. It was very much closed up around her bottom teeth for the first portion of our time in here. But now there's starting to be some little tiny movements, little tiny inhales and exhales, little tiny twitches. Hi, buddy. So these are all some of the things that you can be looking for in your horse. And if you don't have a horse, if you're not an equestrian per se, I invite you to take a look kind of at your own life where sometimes you might go into freeze mode mentally, physically, with your breath or with your thinking, that kind of thing. There's a little bit of paralyzation that happens. And asking yourself what might be most helpful in those moments. Sometimes it's to let yourself stay still until you feel a release. Other times it might be to add just a little bit of movement, tiny little micro movements all the way up to something like a walk or exercise to get out of that freeze space in the nervous system. So I'm just going to keep waiting for Cody here. I love that she's looking around. There's the lick and chew and the true release, and she moved, and she even stepped closer to me. You might be able to see her eyes look more relaxed. This is the release we're looking for in ourselves and with our horses when we have true relaxation, and then we're in a state of being able to be in relationship and also in a state of where we're being able to learn new things. All right, have a great day. Let me know what you think of this video. Any questions? I look forward to talking with you. Bye.